Question 17 is going to deal with real options and Black-Scholes model. Okay, so let's go through the case study. Okay, so the first question, part A, is asking estimate the financial impact of the director's decision to delay the production and marketing of the game. Right? So this is an option, decision to delay, it's a delay. This is a real option. Option to delay is one of the real option. The Black-Scholes option pricing model may be used where appropriate. All relevant calculations should be shown. So they have clearly mentioned which option, which model to use. Even if they don't mention, it is Black-Scholes option pricing model only we have to use. Part B, briefly discuss the implications of the answer obtained in Part A above. That means you have to discuss now Part A's answer, right? So discuss Part A. C. Discuss how a decrease in the value of each of the determinant of the option price in the Black-Scholes option pricing model for European option is likely to change the price of a call option. So you have to talk about the 5 variables that affects an option price, right? So the 5 variables. Let's go to the, okay, so it is MMC. MMC is considering whether to undertake the development of a new computer game based on an adventure film due to be released in 22 months. It is expected that the game will be available to buy 2 months after the film's release, by which time it will be possible to judge the popularity of the film with a high degree of certainty. However, at present there is considerable uncertainty about whether the film and therefore game is likely to be successful. Although MMC would pay for the exclusive right to develop and sell the games now, the directors are of the opinion that they should delay the decision to produce and market the game until the film has been released and the game is available for sale. What are they doing here? They're delaying, option to delay, and it has a value. We have to calculate the value of that real option. MMC has focused the following end of year cash flows for the 4-year sale period of the game. So these are the cash flows for the 4-year. MMC will spend 7 million at the start of each of the next 2 years to develop the game and gaming platform and to pay for the exclusive right to develop and sell the game. Following this, the company will require 35 million for production, distribution, marketing costs at the start of the 4-year period, a sales period for the year. So this 35 million. It can be assumed that all the costs and revenues include inflation. Okay. Relevant cost for the capital is project is 11% cost of capital, and risk-free rate is 3.5%. Has estimated that the likely volatility of cash flow standard deviation of 30%. So you have been given the standard deviation, you have been given the risk-free rate, and also time is given, and cost of capital. Why that cost of capital is given to you? That cost of capital is given to you to find the net present value. First you have to find the net present value, then with the net present value you add the value of the real option. So let's see how it has been given here. The good thing is the formula has been given to you, you just have to put the formula. So first you have to calculate the net present value. Just because they told use Black-Scholes model to find the value of the real option, don't think that you don't have to calculate net present value. Cost of capital is given to you, cash flow has been given to you, you have to find the net present value. Whenever real option is there, first you have to find the net present value, then you have to find the value of real option, then add the value of the real option with the net present value, right? Because you're getting marks for this. You are getting marks for calculating this net present value. So you cannot throw away this marks. So financial impact of the option to date. First of all, we need to calculate the present value of the option. So we have been given the cash flow, right? We have told that for the first 2 years it will be 7 million, right? 7. And then it is 35. And thereafter it's all the inflows, right? We'll see here. So they are taking all these inflows. Even though it says here 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? They are saying MSC has focused the following end of the year cash flows for the 4-year sales period of the game. Right? So before that, 2 years they will develop the game. So they will spend 7 million, right? First year, second year. And after that, following this, they are saying the company will require 35 million for production, distribution, marketing cost. Of course, we do the production, distribution, marketing cost before getting cash inflows, right? Before the sales revenue at the start of the 4-year sales period of the game. So it's somewhere here before it starts, inflow starts. outflows will be there. So this could be quite confusing because most of you might start with 25 first. But don't forget about the 7 million for year 0 and 1, and then 35 million, which are cash outflows, and then we have all inflows. Discount factor cost of capital is 11% discount and getting a net present value of negative. So based on this, you have to say what you are going to do. Conclusion has to be there. Without the option to delay, the project should be rejected. You have to write this sentence. Without option, what you will do? With option, what you will do? You always have to say this. So without option, you are going to reject because net present value is negative. Now let's go to option to delay. You are using the Black-Scholes model. Please write the formula. This is the formula, and this is the formula for D1, right? And this is the formula for D2. Write it separately. It is given in a formula sheet. So based on that, we are just going to put the numbers, right? So what is PA? PA is the current value of the project. That is the present value of its cash inflows. So you have to add all this, right? Inflows. This one, this one, this one, this one, all these 4 years, they are inflows. You have to add it. That is PA, right? So it is 38.75. And what is the exercise price? PE? That is the cost of the production, etc. that can be delayed. So it is 35 million. This 35 million is our exercise price, right? Now, time. Exercise day, that is when the exercise price is paid, 2 years, right? And risk-free rate has been given 3.5%. Standard deviation has been given as 0.3, right? 30%, that means 0.3. Now, using the numbers, we can use it. L divided by PA over PE, right? Plus your risk-free rate plus your 0.5 into standard deviation squared into 2 because time is 2 years. And divide by standard deviation times square root of t. So you are getting 0.62. Now you have to use the table to find the value of the 0.62. You have to use normal distribution table to find the probability. Now, for D2 it is D1 minus, that's why 0.62 minus standard deviation into square root of t, it is 0.2. So based on this, you have to find the table, and when you find the table, it is positive. You can see both D1 and D2 are positive. So that's why you have to add 0.5 to both of this, and this you are getting from the table, the value. With that, you have to add 0.5 because it's more than, it's a positive, right? So now you are getting ND1 and ND2. Now use those probabilities. So PA, this is your PA multiplied by your ND1, and this is your PE, exercise price, into ND2, and this portion is your, it is there in the formula, right? E to the power minus R into time, which is 2. So you are getting this, and now you add, what was your net present value before? It was minus 2.98, right? Deduct it from your project because it's a negative. So negative and addition, it will be deduct minus only. So minus your net present value from this option to delay, you are getting a positive value this time. What should you do? Project should be accepted with the option to delay included. You see how the decision changes when option to delay is there. Now we are going to say what are the implications of these results. Okay, so the option to delay the project gives management time to consider and monitor the potential investment before committing to its execution. So option to delay is good because it's given time to management for them to decide whether they want to commit or not. This extra time will allow management to assess the popularity of similar launches and also to monitor competition. Success of the film will be heavily reliant on the marketing campaign launched by the film's promoters prior to its release. Management will be able to monitor the extent of this campaign before committing to the release, before committing to an expensive and potentially unsuccessful project, right? However, the calculation of the value of the option to delay is subject to several limiting assumptions. You need to talk about this whenever you're talking about real option implications. Option to delay, they are subject to several limiting assumptions. Primarily, the volatility of the cash flows, that is your standard deviation, right? We assume that it's fixed, but it keeps changing. So the value of an option to delay is 9.127, right? Is not an exact figure, but rather an indication of how much management would value the option to delay. This line has to be there. This line has to be there. That's why I'm underlining the whole thing, because this whole thing you can just copy paste, only the number will be different. and the real option. Maybe the type of real option would be different, but this sentence has to be there. That value of an option to delay is not an exact figure but rather an indication. So this has to be there. This you can copy paste it, memorize it and put it. And the result shows that management should not dismiss the project immediately despite the current negative net present value. So now you can tell, even though initially they are having a negative net present value, now you're going to tell the management, no, you should not dismiss the project. Why? Because option to delay is giving you a positive value. So there may be other options embedded within the project. The technology used to develop the game may be used for other projects in the future. Option to redeploy, right? You can talk about other option, real options also. Option to redeploy is another type of real option. Alternatively, the project could lead to follow-on projects if the film is successful enough to generate sequels, right? Now let's go to part C. We have to talk about the value, the 5 variables, how it is affecting the option price. The call option. Clearly they have mentioned call option, right? Option to expand is a call option only. So value of an option depends on the following variables, 5 variables. Price of the security, exercise price, risk-free rate, time and your standard deviation. All the 5 variables which you use in your Black-Scholes model, those are the exact 5 variables which affects your option price. So first we are going to talk about, this is your PA, this is your PE, right? Price of security. So what happens, you need to talk about what happens when this increase, what happens to the option price, what happens when this. So like this, you have to talk about the 5 variables. First, we are going to talk about PA. A decrease in the price of the security will mean that the call option becomes less valuable, right? Because when the security price decreases, what happens? Decreases less, right? Your price of security, your PA, is less than your PE, less than your exercise price, and it's a call option. Call option is an option to buy, so you want to buy at a lower price. So if your exercise price is higher, you will not exercise the option. That means if your price of security is lower, you will not exercise the option. That's why that option becomes less valuable, call option. If your PA is greater, sorry, if your if your PA decrease in the price, right? So exercising the option will mean you're purchasing a security that has a lower value. Now let's go to the exercise price. It is the opposite for exercise price. Lower the exercise price, better it is. The value of the option will increase, because lower the exercise price, you will exercise it, you will buy it. It's a call option. A decrease in the exercise price will mean that the call option becomes more valuable. So you see, the profit that can be made from exercising the option will have increased. Now let's go to the risk-free rate. So this is, they work in the same direction, right? If your risk-free rate reduces, your value call option also will become less valuable. So a decrease in the risk-free rate will mean that a call option becomes less valuable, right? The purchase of an option rather than underlying security will mean that an option holder has spare cash available which can be invested at a risk-free rate of return, right? A decrease in that rate will mean that it becomes less worthwhile to have spare cash available and hence to have an option rather than having to buy the underlying security. Like, no need to write all these things if you don't like. This is just for your explanation because the time will not permit you to write so much, but at least this line you need to write, the first line. It will be enough. Next, a decrease in the time to expiry will mean that a call option becomes less valuable. See, the less time you have, less valuable your option will be. Why? Because you will not be getting more time. Greater the time, greater the value of an option, because an option has a time value also. There's a value for time. Greater the time towards the expiry, more valuable that option will be. But less the time is less valuable. So decrease in time of expiry will mean call option becomes less valuable, as the time premium element of the option price has been decreased. Now volatility, that is your share premium, standard deviation. So a decrease in volatility will mean that a call option becomes less valuable. Exactly. Share premium is less means your, not share premium. I always get confused. It is your standard deviation. If it becomes less, your call option also will become less valuable because volatility is less. So call option becomes less valuable. A decrease in volatility will decrease the chance that the security price will be above the exercise price when the option expires, right? If volatility is less, that means for security price to be above the exercise price will be less. There will be less chance. That's why it is less valuable. So that's it for Question 17, we discussed real option to delay, and then we talked about the 5 variables affecting the option price and how to use Black-Scholes model. So that's it for question 17. Don't forget to watch my videos. I'll be coming with question 18, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Take care.